And now, a message from our premier.
My friends, as we begin a new year, I want to speak to you about a tsunami. Folks, I made a promise to you to speak plainly about hitting wave. I love water. I love hitting wave. Folks, we've been through so much. So guys, get to the water. So thanks everyone and have a very safe weekend. All the best.
We watch Point Break and Surf Ninjas.
Ah, the French champagne.
Champagne!
The schlocky movie from this week may be the schlockiest film we've ever seen on this podcast.
I'm Mr. Pink.
Sis Blue.
So Miranda hasn't seen Reservoir Dogs.
Those men's children are all identical clones of Adolf Hitler.
Once they were men, now they are land crabs.
Amanda Bynes is a national treasure.
There's like a bunch of other shit that happens in Driven.
Is there?
Secret Nazis.
Yeah.
Secret Nazis.
Big Daddy lost his eagle.
I hope
So-
no one from my family listens to this podcast.
The Citizen Kane of the week is... Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. We're just guessing that it's afternoon. I'm guessing that it's afternoon. Welcome to another exhilarating episode of Citizen Kane Versus. This is a podcast, a bi-weekly podcast now, where we take a movie that's considered to be more of a classic, which has grown to be pretty broad these days, versus a movie that is a piece of schlock. And we ask ourselves honestly, which is better? My name is Jack Rennie, and I'm joined by my two friends, a one
Sean Jacklin.
and the other.
Daniel Benoit.
Yeah. And this week, we have a couple of very, I think I'm quite happy with the pairing because not only does the theme, there are so many more bits of connective tissue than I even thought. I thought we were just going with needlessly shoehorned surfing motifs.
Yeah.
And it's so much more than that. The lead actors are both named Johnny, like the characters. There's
I
just
didn't even catch that.
They're-
I didn't. I spent the entire time watching Surf Ninjas having no idea what their names were.
Johnny Utah was actually his full name.
Oh my God.
And also just in general, the amount of like surfer lingo and speech that got into these movies was just a treat. It was a treat.
It was certainly the early 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I will jump in with if you're here and you like these podcasts, like and subscribe and leave a comment and follow and share and invest, maybe. What's a new word we could give people?
Send us dollar bills in the mail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like say a prayer to us before bed.
Yeah. For
or
dollar
something.
bills in the mail.
Yeah. Plant a seed.
And loonies.
Yeah, in loonies.
Oh my God, should we open a church?
We're all gonna open a church.
Absolutely. I think this has come up before, and the answer is still and always will be yes.
Yes, the Church of Citizen Kane.
The Church of Kane.
Jack, I would, on behalf of Daniel, I'm sure he feels the same way. I would like to thank you for letting us just destroy your childhood favorite film this week.
Oh yeah, yes.
No, that's
We're gonna
not.
shit on this thing.
Yeah.
No
For
way.
a second, I thought you were going to thank him for the opportunity to watch this movie.
Oh, no.
But yes, I couldn't agree more.
I had a great
I
time.
can't wait to just destroy any nostalgia this movie has for you.
If you're not crying like 52 minutes into this thing, I think we're doing it wrong.
All right. Okay, you're really going to build up to it. 52 minutes. Okay, great. That's good to know. I look forward
I'm also
to
going to
that.
insult your
edging.
family.
Yeah. Anyone you've ever
You
cared
stupid parents let you rent that.
for. Yeah. Going under the bus.
That was back in the day. Because the first fun fact that I'll give about this movie is that I think like it felt like every weekend we would rent this movie from the local movie store, which wasn't Blockbuster, independently owned movie rental store, Hollywood Video.
Oh.
I know, classy. So they really they have some sort of connection to Hollywood, I'm guessing.
Yeah, of
I'm not
course.
sure, but that's my guess. And like every week I would pick Surf Ninjas or Hot Shots Part 2. Like,
That's a classic film.
So, how many times would you say you've seen Surf Ninjas? If you had to guess.
I would guess that I've seen this movie 50 times.
50 times.
I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe I'm way wrong and I'm remembering how many weekends there are in a childhood, but I think it was a lot.
There's a lot
Like,
more than 50 in a
I know,
childhood.
I know,
Yeah.
but it definitely wasn't like every weekend, but it like wasn't infrequent. Like I saw this movie a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going for your 10,000 hours with this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's still, I watch it this morning and there's new stuff I haven't heard before, lines that land in a new way.
Oh, you heard lines?
Yeah. Of course. You didn't
Okay.
hear lines?
Uh,
I
There
was
some
too
mumbling.
hypnotized by Johnny's fucking swole chest.
He's swole
yeah.
fella.
Yeah, that he was what, 15? He must have been on some kind of
No, he wasn't
fucking
15.
Asian
No, he was
supplements.
20.
No, he was 20.
Oh, was he 20?
2021, playing 16.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Schneider was 28,
Oh, perpetually 28.
perpetually 28. So I have some other fun facts. So I didn't actually know this. There's so much weird other merch. Like Sean got me like the book of Surf Ninjas one year. What was that, for my birthday or something?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is hilarious. I had no idea there was such a thing. And so the game that Adam, the younger brother, plays
Right.
is actually a real game
Mm-hmm.
that you can get. You can play that game. It came out before the movie. And it was the first time anything like that had ever happened. And it was
Wait.
because Sega like was part of the financing of the movie.
Yeah.
So the movie is based on a book turned video game.
No.
The book is based on the movie, and the video game is based on the movie. But
Yeah.
the video game came out before the movie did.
Correct.
As like pre-hype for the movie.
Yeah.
I guess so, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Does
Because
it does
because it was the early 90s and video games were like legit way to market to people.
right. I mean, I guess they still are. Does the real world video game allow you to predict the future?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that. Does it replay like you're walking through the house and then it gives a third view perspective of you playing the game, but then goes into like your grandpa falling down the stairs or something?
I mean, I want to assume yes.
Right.
I haven't
hope so.
I haven't played it, so I can't say that it doesn't do
Okay.
that.
So we
As
need
a
to find it.
scientist, I
We need to
can't say
find
that.
it. We need
So-
to we need to play. What was the other video game we were gonna play? Clue. Oh no, we were gonna do board games, but I was played the board games. We could find this game and play it
Oh yeah. I would love to play the Surf Ninjas game. That would like complete
while
something
reading
in my
the book
life.
with the.
I want the
movie on
audio
background.
book playing. I want
Yeah.
I want the
Narrated
audio book
by-
narrated by Leslie Nielsen. They like paid him, they got him back, or maybe it's a passion project for him. I'm guessing
Yeah.
he really loves it. But also another funny thing, because it's brought up a couple times, or like at least once they mention it. I've been like, you're not Asian, but like Rob Schneider is actually part Filipino.
Is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
Is
like
he actually?
he's like fully like half Filipino or something. Yeah, that's what the Ernie Reyes Jr., who plays Johnny in Surf
Yeah.
Ninjas, his dad is Satch
Yeah.
in real life.
Yeah.
That's Ernie Reyes
Yeah.
Sr. And they're both Filipino. So like the whole thing is like this, but like Rob Schneider is like actually also Filipino. So is Tone Lock, actually.
Oh yeah.
No, he's
I
not.
think I knew that. He's
But
not.
I mean, he might be.
Well,
I don't think so.
Which one was Tone Lock?
The rapper in the movie.
the rapper, the cop.
Oh, he's a rapper?
Yeah. His music plays when they're moto surfing.
That makes so much more sense now. What was I gonna say?
I
You
don't
were
know.
gonna say
lost
that you were gonna say how much you want us all to go moto surfing this summer.
Mm.
Oh, 100%.
Moto
100%.
surf
That actually does seem like a
Honestly,
lot of fun. When he brought out the paddle,
when
part
they
of me
wipe
was
out
like,
and they have to paddle back in. That's the logic.
Yeah. Oh.
They go
Jesus
wipe
Christ.
out and then they paddle.
oh my god, what a fucking stupid movie.
Yeah. It's special.
But I do love how excited you are. This feels like wrestling week for me.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what this is for you.
When we get Three
And
Ninjas on also at some point, then
Oh yeah.
we'll
we gotta
really
get
complete
those on.
Jack's childhood.
Those were my fighting movies as a kid. I watched the Three Ninjas a ton.
Wasn't
Yeah.
the Three Ninjas? Didn't that have Hulk Hogan in it?
He's in the
Like,
third one, which
third
probably is the one I watched the most.
Really?
Yeah.
I definitely
So we
watched the
should do,
first
like-
one the most.
We should do like Karate Kid versus the third Three Ninjas.
I mean, probably.
Probably.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yes, we should probably do that. What's it? It's called like Escape from, or it's like Battle at Thunder Park.
Thunder Mountain or something.
Thunder
like that.
Mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's at a theme park.
Yep.
And Hulk, the poster is like Hulk Hogan flexing over a roller coaster.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh goodness. Does anyone have any fun facts about Point Break,
Point
the
Break?
other needlessly surf aligned
Um,
movie?
My fun fact about Point Break is it was my first time ever hearing Patrick Swayze's voice.
What?
Never seen a Patrick Swayze movie. I learned, but I for some reason I thought he might have been British or something. I had no idea what Patrick Swayze sounded like until this movie. This is my introduction to Swayze.
Okay.
Great.
Okay. Well,
And I was pleasantly surprised.
but just Swayze's great. You've never seen a Swayze film.
I think that in my childhood, when I was too young to remember, I might have seen Ghost.
Right. We
but
gotta get
that's-
Ghost on here.
Yeah, Ghost versus like Casper.
Casper's a great film. I'll fight
Casper is a great film.
you. My fun fact is that Catherine Bigelow, the director, and like she and James Cameron rewrote the script a bit too. Her film before this was Blue Steel with Jamie Lee Curtis, which is about a female cop who discovers that she's dating a serial killer. And I think she just took that premise and adapted it to this, where we have Keanu Reeves, who finds out that his best friend is a bank robber, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
They are. That's a very similar idea.
Yeah.
And so I was just checking it also. This is one of. I wondered if this was one of his earliest movies, and it's like because
Swayze?
Keanu,
Keanu?
because
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
real fresh.
He's super blue, yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk about him more later, but he looks super. I don't know why I became like Christoph Waltz for a second. We will talk about him more later. But this is one of his first movies, and it's a kind of funny like progression, because it's like Bill and Ted was like the thing where he became a name a bit,
Yeah.
and then where he's like a stoner surfer kind of dude, and then he wanted to get into more to action, so he did this movie where it's like an action movie,
Yeah.
but he's still kind of a surfer dude and speaks like that, and then he did Speed, where it's like just an action movie. Like he
Right.
really
He
found
eased
the
into it.
perfect,
Yeah.
way in.
He's a smart guy.
yeah.
He
I mean,
knows what he's doing.
he's the world's most beloved man.
Yep.
Pope
Hands down.
Keanu the First.
Oh, that would be my religion. He's the Pope of our church.
He's the Pope of the Church of Cain.
Yep.
Cainanu.
Love it.
Keanu?
Okay, I don't know, because it's Cain and Keanu. I don't know what I'm doing. So look, let's get the audience more on board, and let's segue to some super fun boxing intros that will let people know more about these movies.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Citizen Kane Versus welcomes you to Surf Slam 2022. Introducing first in the red corner, a local college football star turned federal special agent who must infiltrate the violent and drug-fueled underbelly of the surfing world to catch a gang of notorious bank robbers. Coming in at 122 minutes, starring Keanu Reeves and Patrick Swayze, Point Break! And in the blue corner, a pair of literal surfer bros who discover their royal lineage and realize their destiny to overthrow a tyrant and claim their rightful place on the throne of their native people. Coming in at 86 minutes, starring Ernie Reyes Jr., Rob Schneider, and Leslie Nielsen, Surf Ninjas!
And welcome back. So let's jump into our first round. Why? Look, okay, this
It's
is
like a commercial break or something. It's not. I just did that live.
I
Yeah, Daniel just did it live. Like the part where he talked about naked mole rats covering his entire body, I thought was a bit bizarre, but hey, if it's got to be in his intros,
Did we
It
watch?
was in the
I may have
moment,
watched
and he
the wrong
wanted to
version
say
of the
it.
movie. Is what I'm thinking.
Right. You watched the Kim Possible version.
Yeah.
So let's jump in to our first round because there's going to just be so much to try and talk about with both of these movies in this round. So let's jump in with story. Good. Nice.
Boo, zoom
Did you-
filter,
did you hear that?
boo, vaguely.
We got like we got one and a
Yeah.
half dings.
Do it again. Do it again.
A story. Good. Yeah, it lets one in and then it shuts it
And then
down.
it shuts it
That's fine. I have it on my record. It's fine. You both heard it clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna cut this part out. Story.
Story.
Good.
Good. So
I'm saying I'm saying it is good.
story good?
Good
Wait,
story.
Which story good?
That's the question. No, I don't know. I think
I hate this. I'm leaving.
yeah, story. Well, Point Break. What do I say about Point Break?
Damn.
Well, the thing about Point Break is that it was surprisingly compelling in spite of its predictability.
But would you have? Is it predictable? Have you seen Point Break before?
I have not seen Point Break before, but the
But
villain
we know. Yeah.
is clearly Patrick Swayze from the moment that they introduce him.
Yeah, they try to throw
Right?
the Nazis in there to pull you off the trail, but
I mean,
But
Flea.
but that's the thing. As soon as they're dead, it just reinforces the fact that it's obviously Patrick Swayze. Like there is no guesswork really.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah. And I think it's been the myth or the spoiler has been given through Hot Fuzz as well. You know, the scene where he's making them watch the movies and they're watching Point Break on TV and it's it's the shooting into the air scene.
Right. That's right. I wondered where that was.
Mm-hmm.
Dan looks lost. Nick Frost does
Dan's
it as
gone.
well.
No,
Dan's gone.
I remember it now, but
Oh,
I never made that connection.
And this is the thing. This is why Point Break, in my opinion, does qualify as a classic because it is like just somehow like beloved in the like movie zeitgeist as like a classic action film. I think it was a lot of people loved it, and there's a lot of stuff about it that like are so true to that era of action movie, the kind of like Lethal Weapon, like just post Lethal Weapon era, where it's still kind of about like the loose cannon kind of cops and whatever, and the hard ass captain type.
Yeah, who's got to scream every line.
Yeah, you
my God.
dumb piece of shit. I ought to send you back. I take the skin off chicken, sir.
You
You
Poor
know?
John C. McGinley is a talented actor, and that like what they wrote for him made me sad.
I kind of liked their first hallway talk.
Yeah, their walk and talk.
Yeah, I was
Fuck
like,
you,
oh, this-
Aaron Sorkin. This movie did it first.
Yeah. But I thought it was actually kind of fun. There's a lot of things though that were weird, like the opening rainy shooting gallery and surf montage was very like ominous in like a weird way. I don't know what I'm trying to say. And it
Yeah.
finishes, the first line of the movie is the guy who is supervising Keanu at the shooting range, and he just goes 100%, good job.
And he
And
gives
gives him
him
a
the
big-
thumbs up back. Oh, he was so cute.
And I think the last line of the movie is another random cop person going, we'll get him when he comes back in.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The terrible, clearly non-Australian actors that were
Correct.
Australian cops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a death sentence out there, mate.
I will say I was following along fine, and it was Point Break. Why does Johnny Utah not realize his cover is blown after they go into an operation to arrest his friends who he's already assumed are the bad guys, and they see him, and he knows they see him, and then he's still like, "Hey, I'm undercover." The next time he sees them, what? It was dumb.
You mean after they see his face when he chases them down?
Yeah. After he's been like, I think these guys are the bad guys. Let's stake out the next bank that I think that we're gonna see them at. So he must know it's them.
But I think it's because he didn't actually see their face, so he doesn't know conclusively. You're right.
Bad. Yeah.
But also, they have kind of blindsided him, right? So he's outmatched 4-1. So even if he knows his cover is blown, what's he gonna do? Try to arrest Patrick Swayze in that moment? He has to go along with it, especially if Patrick Swayze's behaving normally, right? And he's never been skydiving before.
That's true.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that sold it for me. I was like, well, at least we'll get a skydiving sequence.
Yeah. A really cute one where they like hold hands.
It was super
It
cute.
was quite
very
sweet.
cute.
I was so happy for their friendship.
They were like, come on, let's do it as brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know it's a bit of a weird sequence. I mean, it's weird from the get-go that not only is his cover blown, he goes looking for leads on the beach, and he gives his real name, and he's like, I'm Johnny Utah.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't even do that to Patrick Swayze because Swayze recognizes him because Johnny Utah is borderline famous.
Yep.
As a professional or almost pro
Ohio State quarterback.
Rose Bowl
Yeah.
alum or whatever. So, which just means you can't do undercover work because
You can if nobody knows that you're a cop. If everyone thinks that you're a football player, they're not going to assume that
I
you're an officer,
guess.
which
And
is what
it's
happened
before
in this
Google.
movie.
It's before Google.
pre-Googs.
Right,
I mean,
before
I suppose
LinkedIn.
so. Maybe sort of being someone helps people not know that you're, So maybe I'm
Which
wrong.
would also explain why he'd have to give his real name when introducing himself, even when he's undercover, because he's recognizable, just
Yeah.
not as a police officer.
It's still kind of silly. Like why that choice in the story was very weird. That he's also a borderline famous football player.
Yeah. They needed
all
a reason
weird.
why. Yeah. They needed a knee injury.
Right.
To slow him down later in the film. So
But
they needed
you
him to
can-
be a football player earlier in life who had to go into policing because of a knee injury.
But they could have easily just had him fall wrong. Like, I actually forgot that he had a knee injury by the time that he falls in the movie, and it still played
True.
fine.
It's a
for
while
me.
later. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he shattered his fucking leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he dropped.
And then he just kind of limps later, and then he's like walking again the next day.
And he's fine.
It's kind of
Yeah.
bullshit. Like if you have a anyway.
Really severe injury. It destroyed his football career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not that much. His sprinting career is fucking A-okay. He's still all good to chase people Ferris
Yep.
Bueller style through backyards of LA.
Yep.
It's just like a weird movie. And like the surfing part of it is wonderfully shoehorned. Like it just
It is. It's pretty too.
You know what, though?
they film
didn't-
it well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous film. It's gorgeous. I didn't actually feel like the surfing was shoehorned into the movie. Like surf ninjas for sure.
For sure.
It plays like no part in the film in the story at all.
Yeah.
But like this movie is about surfing. Like
Yeah.
it isn't like a shoehorn plot point. It is about surfing. And clearly
Yeah.
for the sake of, having a DP and a director that know how to shoot surfing. So that was actually something I appreciated about it. I mean, I didn't learn anything about the surfing community, but
Well,
They're assholes is what you learned.
apparently
Yeah.
they're fucking violent,
total-
territorial
and
assholes.
some of them are
Assholes, yeah.
Nazis.
Yeah, those Nazi
Yeah.
surfers.
That
which
seems
is another
counterintuitive to a surfer's energy, though, doesn't it?
wrong because this is a quick tangent, but also fun fact. There was a time where I couldn't find Surf Ninjas. Clearly wanted to rent it or something like that, and through some garage sale or we rented it or what, I don't know. We came across and I watched a good part of it, a movie called Surf Nazis.
Oh, fuck off.
And that is a real film that will be a sequel to this one at some point. Because I'm just remembering that it exists, but that's a real thing. So surf Nazis are a whole culture of their own, apparently. Dan. So
I
we should-
want to watch it.
Okay.
yeah. surf Nazis. But I guess I know what you mean. Like they did really make the movie about surfing in that way, but I think it's still shoehorned in that it seems like they started with surfing and worked backwards, right? And then they make it a bank robbing movie. Like it's just, it's a weird smush together that seems to be because they knew how to work with filming those things and they wanted to do that they made it work. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it also like it's a nice when excuse me. When so many action movies are so paint by numbers, it's kind of refreshing to have a different, a different set of characters, a different story being told. I mean, it's the same story being told. It's still detectives versus bank robbers.
Yeah.
But at least having, surfing as a backdrop adds a kind of an untold element to it.
Right.
Which I thought was nice.
So Jack, I haven't found Surf Nazis as a film, but I have found Surf Nazis Must Die.
Yeah, that's the one.
And it's when the son of a gun-wielding woman is murdered by neo-Nazi surf punks in the post-apocalyptic future, his mama hunts them down for some bloodthirsty revenge.
Yep.
I'm in.
A tale as old as time.
I'm there. Yeah.
So speaking of brilliant surf movies, on the other side, we have Surf Ninjas. A story that is just told to us as weird, quirky stuff happens, sort of in a row. And like, that's the whole movie. Apparently it was going to be more serious and then they pivoted and they made it goofy, which was a good call, I think.
Yeah, because it would have been a children's film anyways, so having a serious children's film seems like they would have completely destroyed the movie.
Yeah. Well, they thought it would be more of like a typical action adventure. Like they thought it might be a bit less, like not just kids, but like kind of maybe they're going to try and grab, more young adults.
Yeah.
With it.
I wish I had been watching this with you guys because it was a rough viewing experience.
Because you watched it alone?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I just watched it with Miranda this time, and we actually had a pretty good time.
That's good.
It took me 2 sittings to get through this, if I'm being honest.
And it's an hour and a half.
Yeah, but we have watched this before, the three of us.
We have together, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
but
didn't
like
we
barely.
all decide at that point that it sucked? Except for Jack, obviously. Jack loved it.
Because
I don't remember.
You didn't give it real attention in that viewing. I remember.
Yeah, I don't remember paying too much attention to it. I remember every time Leslie Nielsen came on screen, I told everyone to shut up and give the man the respect he deserves. But
but he doesn't
his
deserve respect
answering
in
machine
this
bit
movie.
is so good.
That's funny. That's a
his
good
whole
bit.
movie.
Is it funny? What is funny about it?
Because this movie, I want to say what I love about this movie, and I don't know if I can call it its story because it's not that, but it's just about its filmmaking in general. It calls back to a previous era where movies could be about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and other weird random stuff, whereas like movie making now is such like there's so little room for that. It's so serious, it's so calculated.
Yeah, the imagination here is unparalleled in modern like children's movies of the day because it's so studio covered, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
I think that is the kindest
choices.
I can hold this
You know what I
film,
mean?
is the imagination is lovely, I guess.
Are we really going to say that the imagination in Surf Ninjas is unparalleled in movies today? Is that really?
I can see why you would take that the wrong way.
I mean, I would kind of agree with that in terms of like not in what people can imagine, but what they're allowed to put on film. Like this movie has so many dumbass things in it, and like he sings Barbara Ann.
Yeah, he does twice.
But
is that the peak of imaginative writing?
No, I think
it's
the creation of the world.
It was like the fact that was in the movie, like it was approved, is what I'm talking about, right? People would want to do that stuff now. It's the same way that I think we talked about with Evil Dead, right? That like just to make a movie like that now is so hard. Like just to be like, yeah, and then I want this weird, and people be like, nah, no, that's not. People aren't. It doesn't test well.
It's a showcase movie for that clearly that like Ernie Reyes Sr. put together so his son could break into the biz.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he looks great. I think Ernie Reyes Jr. looks
I would say I don't know
great in
where
the movie.
which category this falls under, but I would say Ernie Reyes Jr. is a better action film actor than Ernie Reyes Sr.
Oh, 100%.
Based on what I've seen. Yeah.
Than his dad. Yeah, his dad is like not that good.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. He was pulling a lot of his punches.
There's some weird stuff in there, but Junior. Anyway, we'll talk about their performances and stuff later. But anyway, just that to say that can you say what other movie is like this one? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's something there is something to originality.
Nomeo and Juliet is Studio Pablum compared to this movie.
I don't even know what pablum means, Sean.
Baby food.
Oh,
what about something like Inside Out? To me, that has.
But that's made for adults. That's made for like us, you know.
I don't know if that's made. I think that's made for everybody.
Yeah.
This movie. I don't really know who this movie is made for because I can't imagine who'd enjoy it except for 5-year-old fucking space cadet Jack over there.
Yeah.
That's right. and fucking 31-year-old space cadet Jack here.
Wait, was this the first time that you've made Miranda sit down and watch Surf Ninjas?
Oh, yeah, no, she'd never seen it before.
Really?
She had a pretty good time.
Yeah, but Miranda finds a way to like most things. She's just a very sweet person.
Not like Dan.
No, fuck.
Dan finds a way to
man.
dislike most things.
No, false. I just dislike things that suck, and Surf Ninjas sucks.
I think there's lots of positives about it.
Why does Surf Ninjas suck, Daniel? I don't know why I'm in the corner of defending it because I also
you're the one that started with saying I can't wait to shit all over this movie.
I did not. I will shit on this movie,
but
I would like
explain it, Dan.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll start with the fact that it's clearly a kids movie, right? So
You
as
hate
an adult,
kids.
it's hard to, and I hate children.
Yeah.
No, but it's hard to enjoy a movie that is not geared towards me. Then there is the Schneider factor, as I call it,
Yes.
which everything that Rob Schneider touches turns to diarrhea.
Yeah.
Then there's, stuff like there's stuff like including lines such as, "We've been promised that this is in the traditional ethnic style."
Ethnic style.
Oh, that
caught my attention.
There's a line right before that too, which is great, where he goes, "An Asian student has been persuaded to volunteer."
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good. I'm sorry,
go ahead.
Then I have
I'm also I find myself love hating the line with what's the rapper's name?
Tone Lock.
Tone Lock, when he's justifying why he's left his job to come on the mission with them.
I haven't had a vacation.
Yeah, that was a big jump. That was a big.
He hasn't had a vacation in 17 months, among other things.
Yeah,
So
is what
he's-
he says.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, so basically telling this group of kids that he's leaving his job because he hasn't gotten laid in close to 2 years, and he needs some good laughs. Like, this is the writing that I'm talking about, guys.
The writing is awful, and they clearly told Rob Schneider to just do whatever he wanted, and he did, and that's a bad thing to let Rob Schneider do.
The problem though, the problem for me in this movie is that aside from Ernie Reyes Jr.'s martial arts, Rob Schneider is the best part of this movie.
No, hard disagree.
What? No, he's not.
10,000%.
No. The
And
brothers are good.
and not Liam Neeson, Leslie Nielsen's voicemail.
Yeah.
Rob Schneider, martial arts, in whatever order you want to
Dude,
put it.
Rob Schneider
I don't know. I think
was the repeated nail to the head that destroyed my morning today.
But
I'm not saying it's
at
a
least
positive.
they all treat him as an idiot, which is at least he's not like a hero, right?
Yeah, I
he's
guess,
he's all called a dumbass. I actually don't mind his money can't buy knives bit. It's actually, I mean, you're probably. It sounds like you were all tuned out at that point anyway. But
Tone locked out.
Tone locked out. But there are like lovely little scenes that I think are pretty funny, where they have like the younger brother in geography class or whatever being like, "Well, there's a school of thought that Spain is here," and they all laugh, and he goes, "And those people are wrong."
That bit was cute.
However, and then
was
there's
cute.
and then there's like the other fucking kid in class with that laugh where he's like,
Yeah.
Like, there's,
I thought that was funny.
funny little things and choices that they made that were like presented pretty well. Like that kid did that bit pretty well. That laugh was funny. It was a funny little scene.
Yep, that was a scene that I followed because I understood he didn't do the homework, and he had to get up in front of the class, and the class were awful people laughing at this poor child who didn't know where Spain was. The education system in this county is dreadful.
It's LA.
It's LA.
Did you have trouble following the rest of the story in this movie?
Well,
Sean?
immediately a bunch of ninjas cling to the windows in full sight of everyone in the classroom.
No, they're camo. They're wearing camo.
They're camo in the window. Yeah,
they're blue camo.
Clinging to the window,
Yeah.
casting shadows into the room.
Yeah, but then Satch kicks them in the face and it makes a burp sound and they're knocked out. Okay?
Of
It's a
course.
good movie.
As logically would happen. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the rest of the story is just given to us by Satch. He just tells us there's a prophecy. The prophecy stuff rubs me the wrong way.
You mean when he kidnaps the children?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then he
okay
does like a
because they're
cool
his
vanishing
nephews.
trick. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep,
They're
that's true.
family. But that was a thing that bothered me more and more was the amount of like prophecy stuff.
Yeah, and just magic. The magic that we're told the younger brother just has because he's magic.
Yeah.
So
That
that's the
that
thing.
stuff rubs me the wrong way now. Like as a kid, I think I didn't mind it, but now I'm like, I don't like it.
But
It's
even
fun when
as
he
an
magically
adult,
has martial arts. I didn't mind. It's a fun scene, and they choose fucking Ode to Joy. It's stupid. Anyway,
oh,
go
Joy
ahead.
is fucking so dumb. Even as an adult, there is something intriguing about the video game telling the future idea. Like in a different movie, that might have actually been a pretty cool concept, but like that was shoehorned in. Zero explanation. I mean, the kid's supposed to be the seer, right? But like, there's no explanation given for why this video game is the what's the word I'm looking for? The vessel through which he can do this.
Yeah.
So,
Well, they had a video game they had to tie into the fucking movie, so.
well, yeah, I get it. I understand why it happened. I'm just saying, I actually wouldn't mind seeing that being the sole storyline of like its own movie.
Yeah. What's the brother's name?
Adam.
Adam Ninjas Surfers 2.
No, but what I wanted to
sells
be is
itself.
Surf gamers.
Surf
no,
Game
but what I
Ninja.
want is the adult version maybe where it's tone lock gaming on a PC
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's I don't know, GTA or something. Something
I
violent.
liked, speaking of technology, I liked the part in Point Break where they're all getting boners to MS-DOS in the police office. Reading
Like
the
that's
description.
that's your link or that's your
Super hot, super hot, Johnny, super
5'1"
hot.
brown hair. Cute.
Oh, so possession of cocaine, indecent exposure on a freeway. All
Okay, but
right.
just to be clear before this timer goes off, we're not saying that the writing in Point Break is good though, right?
No, it's
Like
bad,
it's terrible.
but it's better,
Oh, is it though?
mildly.
Oh, come on, Jack.
I don't know. Are you kidding? The writing in Point Break is laughable. It makes me laugh because of how silly it is, because it's taking itself so seriously. At least like it fails in being the tone that it wants to be.
Did you guys
I will
hear
say
that?
that.
Bell.
That the bell?
That was the bell.
But I stick with that point. It fails with
Okay.
being the tone that it wants to be, where at least Surf Ninjas isn't the tone that it's trying to achieve.
Okay.
Well, we can unpack this further in our next round.
Well, we're
Right
gonna
after
take-
this.
Right after this.
Right after this.
No, after this.
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 And you're back. And we're back. Everyone's back. So let's jump in to our second round, which is production. Good. Nice. Almost got it.
We got two.
Got
yeah.
1.5 as usual. There's no denying that.
Isn't that one normally in Spanish?
Yeah, but I
Trying
I
to be
did.
culturally
In
sensitive
memory
here?
of Spain being lost this week.
yeah. Some believe that Spanish is spoken in Spain.
Not so.
I believe it's pronounced Spanish.
And Spain.
Yeah.
They speak Spanish in Spain. So there is no denying that the production is way better in Point Break. There's some pretty beautiful stuff, some amazing kind of X Games movie making. There are some truly hilarious shots that they tried to get of surfing and surf ninjas. That's clearly people just like standing maybe on nothing that's moving and sliding a camera like towards them or whatever direction they did it. Like it's pretty rough.
It's bad.
But both movies have the wonderful thing of also blatant stunt doubles.
Yeah.
Like just shot from the front.
Yeah.
Like just like a different person's
Except for
face.
Swayze. Apparently Swayze did all his jumps.
His
That's
jumps.
what I
mean,
thought.
surfing.
I was gonna ask
surfing.
about that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they all went through a surfing, or they didn't all. Swayze, Keanu, and the actress who played Taylor all went through like an intensive surfing camp or something. So I think some shots are them, but
Right.
definitely just like when they're out in the waves. The final one where he's dying in the wave, it's him edited into
Yeah.
the frame.
Yeah, you
real
can tell.
clearly,
Yeah, like this
being
like
chewed up. Yeah,
superimposed over it.
yeah.
Whereas, if you compare that to Surf Ninjas, you have them on taking a boat ride that they have no shots of a boat moving because clearly they didn't have a budget to move a boat. And they have the like MS Paint wooden surfboards appear when he has his vision in real life.
Those I thought were pretty good. Just that
The first one where they're just
Yeah.
like subtly blended in with the trees, but when they start going like like
popping up,
appearing,
Control Ving everywhere.
yeah, exactly. That I was like, oh my god.
I thought it was kind of clever actually, because he's seen like the video game child version of a premonition, right?
All right, well then it's great.
That's how I justified it. I was trying to give this movie a little bit of credit, which
I
was
haven't-
very challenging. Sorry, continue,
Yeah.
Sean.
I think the costumes were fun. I think
Yeah.
Leslie Nielsen's plastic ninja hat was beautiful. There's nothing else to describe his costume but beautiful, I would say.
The fact that they call this movie Surf Ninjas, which is at least they say that. So his name is Colonel Chi, and that implies that Chi is not a Japanese surname, and yet he wears samurai clothing.
Right.
And ninjas are also Japanese, but Patusan is clearly not Japan at all. It's also not China. It's somewhere near Thailand is where they
It's
put it.
Fictional, right? It's not
It's
a real
fictional.
place.
It's
Yeah.
fictional. Exactly. Yeah.
So it can be anything. It can be a little bit of Japanese, a little
Yeah.
bit of
So exactly,
Taiwanese.
they colonized. So we'll justify it with that. But it's all wonderfully wrong. But I still love this movie for just being like, yeah, whatever. He wears this armor because he's a half cyborg Leslie Nielsen. You're welcome.
I will say the greatest creative choice I think Surf Ninjas made was using the big flight of stairs.
Yeah.
And just rolling a guy down them.
Yeah.
I think that was probably the best decision made on this film.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Well, especially because he throws himself down the stairs.
Yeah. The third
Right?
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
He just waves. He's like,
It's beautiful.
It's great.
That was the only thing that kept me going in the end was watching that man fall down the stairs repeatedly.
But like it was in a place too that like reiterated the tone of the movie, the tone lock of the movie.
Yeah.
That it's never trying to take itself seriously, which is the thing that's different in these two movies for me. That kind of what bothers me more and what I enjoyed more. Like Surf Ninjas goes out of its way to have Johnny leave his final speech, which is his final like hero's talk to his people. He like interrupts himself to go tell the guy to fall down the stairs again, and then comes back and he's like, yeah, whatever, and there's no monarchy anymore, whatever, bye, and then they sing. Like it's just like a goof. Whereas like Point Break, it's trying to be so serious, and he throws his badge away, and I was like, ugh. Like it was like gross.
So I'm sorry, I'm confused. So what aspect of Point Break do you find so frustrating that they are taking too seriously?
Just
Is
the
it
way
the
it's
surfing
played.
part? I mean, yeah, but it's supposed to be like a gritty cop drama.
Yeah,
Right?
and it's I don't think it is.
I think
don't know,
when we
man.
get to the
There's-
performances, we're gonna
Yeah.
find why it doesn't fully realize that potential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it is. I mean, in terms of we're just talking about production, though, it does
Mhm.
look like what it is. 100%.
Yeah.
It
It's
is
beautifully shot.
a beautifully
Except-
shot. Yeah.
Except the goddamn night over day.
Yeah.
Surfing when
Yeah, that was bad.
when they all go surfing late at night and before he shtups his
Yeah.
girlfriend for the first time. Night over day post 1980, I don't forgive you for. I don't know. It looks bad. It looks really, really bad.
Just so people are clear about what you're talking about, you mean filming a scene in the day and then just
Yeah.
darkening it to say it's at night.
Exactly. Yeah.
It looks bad.
Yeah. And I understand surfing like they were doing at night is probably hard to
Can't.
do without just flooding it. Yeah, with light, but
Yeah, you can't film that.
it looked bad and I was like, eek. I was following this movie and now I'm watching the sun in your night scene.
What I didn't appreciate is all of the dialogue dubbing over slow motion shots of people surfing and like playing in the water.
Right.
In both movies?
They filmed
in particular Point Break.
every extreme scene is filmed like a sex scene. It's slow and the shots like pan across people and bodies in the water and it's definitely shot like with that Vaseline lens.
They really want it to be sexy. They really want this movie to be sexy.
And they achieved that. It's
I think
hot.
so. It's a pretty hot
It's
movie.
pretty sexy.
I just wanted them to kiss, to be honest. Just
Like all of
fucking
them.
kiss.
Like
Yeah.
everyone should kiss.
All of them.
We're talking Bodhi. We're talking Nathaniel. We're
Yep.
talking Rosie. etc.
Gary Busey especially needs
Gary
to kiss
Busey
everybody.
especially.
Yeah. Daniel?
I just missed not having a scene where we get to watch them fuck.
The two of them?
Yeah.
The two of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean Keanu and Gary Busey.
Gary Busey and everyone. It should
Keanu
just be
Busey and everyone.
the delightful, horrifying man.
Gary Busey does the beach. That's the
Hey, I'm there. Front row.
I'm in for it, man.
Yeah,
I'd love to
we'll
see like
review it.
pre-crazy Busey fucking lead an orgy.
I love that man.
Oh my goodness.
But
Is he
yeah.
still alive?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I don't know.
technically.
So one thing that I want to credit Surf Ninjas for over Point Break would be the score. There are some fun little bangers
Yeah.
in Surf Ninjas
Correct.
that Point Break really dug its heels into the orchestral surfing kind of ambient
Can you
score.
describe fun banger, please?
There's like
Yeah.
the Van Halen.
Van
They start fighting
Halen.
at the end and the rest
Horrible.
go.
Oh.
Yo, when I didn't know what it was.
I hated
but-
it.
No, I
What?
loved it.
Really?
I
When
hated it.
It's fun.
it is
Was
fun,
it?
and I was like bobbing in my seat when Tone Lock's song came on for the fucking moto boarding or moto surfing or what the fuck it's called. I was in for it, man.
The sudden change of tone when they make their wooden surfboards and then they're surfing
Okay, that
Oh,
was funny.
and then the
That was really
music
funny.
kicks in and it's like
Yeah.
I don't even know what genre that is.
Inspirational,
Like-
hardcore.
Rock, but like
Yeah.
sung with a gravelly like it's like when the waves come around. It's like I
Yeah.
don't know what but it's
I loved the princess theme, which was just wind chimes and some vague guitar.
yeah. Hey, there was it is in the appropriate ethnic style.
Yeah.
Were they having that meeting ceremony in like the back of the restaurant?
It was like
Is that
the
what
banquet
happened there?
hall of the restaurant.
Yeah.
The banquet hall of the restaurant. I thought
Yeah.
it was like an extension of the kitchen.
No one makes
That-
Patusan cuisine like
Patusani.
Patusani. I thought it was Partusan the entire time. So
Hey,
the fact that there's no R in that name really has thrown me for a loop.
I also enjoyed the tidbit that they say Kwansu as like it. They're like it's the caves of Kwansu and then the knives of Kwansu and then they also yell Kwansu to each other.
Right.
And Miranda was like, "What the hell does Kwansu mean?" And I was like, I don't know. And then at the end, even the younger brother yells Quan Su, dude, to the people, and they're like, Quan Su. And he's like, they love it. I have no idea what it means. Maybe it means like free beer or something. But like, even they don't know. I was like, this movie knows what it is.
Is it a real word?
Oh, I'm almost certainly it's not.
Quan Su. Let's see. Oh, just a bunch of what seems to be Vietnamese or Thai.
Vietnamese. Yeah, that would make sense for
He was
the
shot in Thailand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Miranda's been to those stairs, which is fun.
Did you fall down them?
I hope so.
If you and Miranda went on a trip to those stairs, would you roll down them?
I think not all of them, but
You'd have to.
I think I'd have to do a short video falling down some of them.
Yeah, and you could cut it in with scenes from the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I would want to wear a similar black robe and get a shot from the top of the stairs and then me falling off the first stairs and then cut to the guy from like the drone shot.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
As though it's me.
I wonder if people, like, how many people per year recreate that scene? Because it's probably more than you'd expect.
Probably 25.
Especially now.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know about recreating that scene though. I don't know how many people are trying to recreate the iconic scene from Surf Ninjas.
Yeah, not a ton, but more than we expect, I believe.
I would definitely yell "Newsflash! Your side lost" to someone
Yeah.
approaching the top and see what they did.
Yeah, the security would come and escort you off the mountain.
Maybe. What if I said Quan Su, dude, to them?
Then you're in. You can do whatever you want.
I thought the music in Surf Ninjas was incredibly intrusive and just headache inducing. To be honest, it always just cut in really harshly at a moment that was always kind of tender for some reason, and then suddenly we have Van fucking Halen blowing through my ears.
Well, I mean, obviously, one thing this movie does not do well is nuance. But
no,
but it knows what track is tonally appropriate for the scene.
When you put it that way, I don't know why I expected anything else.
Yeah,
it's my fault.
You're being really nitpicky about this movie, and
about
I can't understand it. Yeah, about Surf Ninjas.
How am I being nitpicky?
I'm enjoying that both of you are slowly enjoying it more and more that we talk about it.
No.
Yeah, a little bit. But
no.
But you're seeing some of the things that give it actually a positive. I can feel it.
I don't know if I've listed one. The one positive I listed was the music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even my other positive was actually a negative. Me saying that Schneider's the best part of the movie is saying that's how bad this movie is.
Yeah, but you're wrong then about that. He's not the best part of the movie.
He's one of the top 3 best parts of this movie.
He's not. He is bottom 2.
Nah,
bottom 2.
He's crazy.
So how much money did Corona pay to Point Break?
Corona?
Yeah, the beer.
Is Corona like in every scene?
All over. Anytime there's someone drinking a beverage, I thought, okay, I didn't notice that. It was everywhere.
I didn't notice.
Yeah.
I will say though, in terms of money, I did check this. Point Break had a budget of like 30 million or something like that. No, 24 million.
Yep.
And Surf Ninjas had just over 6. For around
Surf
the same
Ninjas
period.
cost $6 million to make.
Sure, Leslie Nielsen's
Absolutely.
Rob Schneider.
I guess.
Rob Schneider.
Do you think Rob
burgeoning,
Schneider was commanding some
he's a
high
burgeoning
paydays?
SNL star. You know?
Yeah.
Was he on SNL?
Yeah, that's why he's friends with Adam Sandler
and Chris
Rock. I didn't know that.
All those people.
I didn't know he was on with SNL.
Yeah.
For how long?
I think in the years that Sandler and all them were there.
Well, that's news.
Wow, really? You didn't know he was an SNL guy?
I
No,
wouldn't
he's
have
not- he's
readily
not
known that
funny.
either.
I didn't know. He doesn't strike me as somebody who would be funny enough to get cast on SNL.
Schneider can be funny. I think we have to admit that. Deuce Bigalow was a funny movie.
He was hired as a writer in 1988, and he started on screen in 1990 and went to 1994. He played such roles as Tiny Elvis and Orgasm Guy.
Okay, that tracks.
His best-known recurring character was an office worker whose desk was stuck beside the photocopier, and he addressed each of his fellow employees with an endless stream of annoying nicknames.
That sounds about right.
Yep.
That does sound about right.
But annoying was in there.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Cost. I will say Surf Ninjas kicks costumes ass compared to
Yeah.
Point Break. Point
looks
Break,
good.
everyone's just wearing grays and blacks. Lame.
I appreciated that that they made blue camo coverings for the Jeeps and stuff that had like that
face.
the face of Leslie Nielsen with the gold and helmet and whatever, the gold face. I was like, the fact that people made that is beautiful.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that until the end, and when it slams up in his face after he's been slammed into the Jeep and he sees his own face in the Jeep, I thought, way to go, design team.
Yeah.
You did that thing.
Yeah, but the costumes, and not even just costumes, some of them are just like, I think, real like ceremonial garb. From that area are like pretty beautiful. The landscapes, like they were on location, and it's pretty beautiful jungle stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Does Point Break have it's shot well? It's just like they have more money. It's one of those things. But what do they do with it?
It's
like
beautiful.
They shoot a beautiful fucking movie. What do you mean? They get really, really good actors and fucking shoot a fucking beautiful film.
They did shoot a beautiful film. I will agree with that half of the sentence.
I agree. Yeah. I agree.
They get, hold on. I'm not saying the acting in this movie is good. I'm saying they got good actors. There is a difference.
They got expensive actors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They got hot actors for the time.
Yeah. Busey. etc.
Yeah. You know what? I think this might actually have been the first time I've ever seen Gary Busey act as well.
Oh, I don't know what else. I've definitely seen him in something.
Something that we've watched?
No, I don't think so.
Probably not for this podcast.
Yeah, I think my only other exposure to Gary Busey that I can remember is when he was on, I think, either The Surreal Life, that fucking really weird, like washed up celebrity reality TV show, or something similar. Where
haven't I told you my Gary Busey on Celebrity Apprentice story?
Maybe it was Celebrity Apprentice actually, but go on.
He was on that with Meatloaf in the same season, and Meatloaf, the task was to paint something, and so they all had their own paints, and Meatloaf lost his paints. And he started screaming at Gary Busey because he thought Gary Busey stole his paints. And it's just, that's like 350 pounds of sweaty, horrifying man screaming at you. And Gary Busey's just like, I didn't steal your paints, man. I'm sorry, you can't find your paints. And he's just yelling at him, screaming at them. And they were under Meatloaf's chair the entire time.
Oh my God, that's fucking hilarious. Poor Gary Busey.
I think I'm mainly familiar with Gary Busey from watching, I think, 2 episodes of a very weird television show called I'm with Busey.
Oh my God.
Have either of you ever heard of this?
No.
No.
This was a real show that exists. It's about some young guy who was like a Busey super fan. Loved him, everything he had done. And they made this show where he just like was around Gary Busey and did stuff, and one episode was just about them testing. Gary Busey had him drink fucking 2 gallons of milk because there's like a thing that if you drink 2 gallons of milk, you immediately throw up. It's like a
yeah, of course. You have so much milk in you.
It's like it hits the
and then you puke 2 gallons of milk.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
God.
that was like the basis of one of the episodes, was just Busey being like, drink the milk. And this young guy drinking milk and then throwing up right at the end. It's one of those things where I think it was pretty accurate that he was right at the end of what he had to drink. And he took like the last couple gulps and he threw up.
Oh boy.
And that's a show that you can watch. So that's my main
I
exposure.
would watch that show, actually.
Yeah.
That sounds like a show that would be fucking pretty funny.
I got a show to show you in the next round, that's for sure. I was going to say, at the end of Surf Ninjas, recurring segment, Everything is Star Wars, as they were surfing and they're all paddling out into the waves, I was like, oh, they're not even standing on the boards. And then they all simultaneously stood up together on their boards as they were attacking the enemy island. And I went, oh, it's like when all the X-Wings lock their S-foils in attack position before attacking, going for the trench run at the end of A New Hope. It was identical.
And those were good shots, I'll say.
They were.
They got all the people, the surfers, to do that.
Well, they were.
Shut up, Jam, with your bell.
But that fucking scene is infuriating for so many reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to hand carve a bunch of surfboards from these trees.
Magic.
They're some of the best.
No, he's not that kind of magic.
No, but the people are wonderful wood craftsmen.
Among the
Some of-
best in the
Their
world.
ethnic skills are
Yeah,
very
they're
good.
island people.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck you guys. And
It's a
just,
movie. It's
we
fun.
just we
Sorry.
just finished watching in Point Break how hard it is to learn how to surf.
It's very
They
hard.
said they said bend your knees.
But yeah, they're all surf, aren't they? Okay, here's the
They're
thing.
not a surf culture, I don't think.
That the thing that threw me, and this is pedantic, but they say it is there were people of warrior kings who had the most peaceful nation in the world. And,
Yeah.
like, those two things cannot fucking coexist.
Yeah, it's clearly not a peaceful place. It's also like riddled with
Yeah.
civil strife.
Yeah,
As
A
Colonel
fucking
Chi is coming
tribal
in.
monarchy going on.
Yeah. Well, end of round. Moving into what might be one of the most important rounds of this one, which is round 3. Acting. Good?
Yeah,
Not really.
better than that bell
It's gonna sound so good in the final edit, though.
when you
Just
drop
wait.
it.
Ooh.
Nice.
You're gonna like not
Smooth.
cut out those bells and you're just gonna like put it over top of it, kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, I want that.
I'm gonna have bells just ringing on
Yeah.
loop through the whole podcast. That's what
like
I'm gonna
church
do.
bells. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like wedding, end of Shrek kind of bells.
Just doorbells, actually.
Great. I think the brothers in Surf Ninjas do a fine job.
Mhm.
I think Johnny is decently charismatic. I think he plays his moments well. That he's not only doing really impressive martial art and stunt work, but he's doing it in character where he's clearly like yelling and responding as someone who is like not comfortable fighting, at least earlier on,
Sure.
and like panicking and playing those moments in a way that I thought was effective.
That was very impressive. There were a few things in this movie that actually caught my attention, but that was one of them. When his dad is attacking him with the fucking sword spear thing.
That scene was fire. You know,
Yeah.
it was good.
And the fact that they also hold that, like the fact that he can do that as a performer, and they don't let it happen until like halfway through the movie,
Mhm.
I think is I'm surprised honestly that they didn't find an excuse for him to do it like from the get-go. They really
Yeah.
wanted to save it as like a surprise thing.
He fails when it comes to comedy. Most actors, when the
yeah.
comedic bit arrives, the movie just falls to a standstill, and like he's not very versatile with that. I would say Rob Schneider is perhaps more versatile than
Yeah.
Ernie Reyes Jr. in that.
Yeah.
But Ernie Reyes Jr. could kick the shit out of Rob Schneider.
100%. They had different roles to fill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I'm struggling to think of a moment that Ernie Reyes Jr. had in the writing where he had the opportunity to be funny and drop the ball.
Yeah.
when they're all
yeah.
doing the like oh, she's got a veil and she's ugly bit, like
Yeah.
none
Oh,
of them, none of
right,
them, that
right.
whole bit, I guess that's everyone's burden there. Asking her if you're going to the mall was not delivered well, and I'm already checked out.
But is that the fault of the actor or the fault of some very lazy writers?
Yeah, I don't know if he's supposed to be that funny in the
Right.
movie. I think he's supposed to just be kind of charismatic. I think his charisma is good, the way he like conducts
He
himself,
has charisma.
and that he even says that to his brother. He's like, "You just got it's just how you sell it, you know," and just kind of has that energy that like I kind of bought that. I didn't buy it as being like funny, but he had the kind of YTV host,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is exactly what it was.
you know,
And-
like those people
and-
were never funny, but they were nice to watch.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
I
Yeah.
will also
Charisma.
say I did absolutely buy him as being a teenager. I legitimately thought he was like 15 or 16 years old. So
Even when he took his shirt off.
It was a fucking
I was
huge.
I was floored by that. I was like, what the fuck is this kid taking?
Just like all lats. The guy is enormous. I knew. So I was watching, and like one of the first scenes, he's just like wearing a t-shirt, like before his presentation or whatever, and he's backstage, and he turns around, and you can just see his back is like enormous.
Mm.
Yeah.
Did he have a career before this movie, or was this this was his vehicle? Like, was he in other stuff?
He is the like the main human I think, in the second Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, the Ooze one.
Oh, I
He
don't know if
plays
I've
like a
seen that
pizza
one.
delivery boy
Oh, okay.
who can fight or something like that.
See, I'm surprised that he didn't have a longer career as like a martial arts movie actor,
Me too.
because
Yeah.
he is quite good.
Yeah.
Like Tony Jaa came to mind when I was watching his like the city raid scene where he's shirtless and like commanding all the troops and just fucking kicking ass in the middle of like the city square or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like it's like the village square.
Yeah.
So I'm just surprised because clearly he has enough talent to say lines on a camera, but is also a sick martial artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
nor-
really
Real
fucking
good.
Yeah,
Guy's got
and
kicks.
Yeah, and normally those two things translate into a pretty lucrative career.
And he's a handsome
horror.
guy. And I
Yeah.
said, like, not with no charisma. Like, is he a great actor? Hell no. But is he like, does he lack charisma? No. I think he has plenty of it. You know what I mean? It's
Sure.
definitely someone who seems like could have been invested more. I'm kind of surprised that he didn't have, I don't know, a bit more of something go on for him.
Well, if we want to move on to Rob Schneider, I have had to fuck. I hate it in this film. I'll just throw that out there. Are you aware of his 2-season self-written produced show, Real Rob?
No.
All right. Well, I fell down a little bit of a wormhole today. And Real Rob. Oh, geez. Oh, I didn't have a Real Rob. Yes, as I said, is his self-written, self-produced show on Netflix. You can find these episodes at home if you have Netflix. I watched 2 episodes today, 2 full half-hour episodes of this high-quality show.
Oh my god.
It is Rob Schneider doing his best. It's him and his wife as themselves, and it's his best, like, Curb meets It's Always Sunny meets Seinfeld kind of thing, where like he's everything. Oh, he's just like this cranky old man, and people are mean to him. But he also does these like brick wall stand-up bits where it's just him with a brick wall backdrop, and they drop audience laughing sounds in after his jokes.
Oh no.
And you never see the audience. The 2 episodes I watched today, season 1, episode 4 is called VIP Treatment, where he hits a man with his car, and the police arrive, and they're so starstruck by it being Rob Schneider that they let him off scot-free. In fact, they give him a police escort home. And then he discovers that he gets preferential treatment all over town just because he's so famous as Rob Schneider. And but then he discovers that his ability to get preferential treatment comes with a terrible downside where people ask him for money sometimes. And that's that episode. The second one, which I will show you a little clip of, is called Gaying in Shape. His wife tells him that he's so out of shape, even gay guys won't hit on him. To remedy this, he asks his friend about his sex appeal to guys, and then joins a trainer working out at the Hollywood gym where he tries to flirt with other men.
Motherfucker! Why not? I'm claustrophobic. You're what? I'm claustrophobic. Oh my god. Claustrophobia. The gayest of all phobias. What? There's no snakes, no spiders, no foreigners, just you by yourself, being a pussy.
It's not gay, it's a real phobia.
I'm gonna help you.
Oh my god.
Oh.
That'll solve it.
Yeah, I feel like that's actually partly real Rob Schneider, because he's loopy in real life, right?
He
like
is.
He's like a Trump supporter and stuff, right, or something.
He's
like,
just he has right wing views, but he's of that generation of comedian that realizing that comedy has kind of passed him by. He will lecture you from the stage for not laughing at his jokes, that kind of thing.
right.
But-
Notoriously funny behavior.
Yeah.
I think I watched his most recent stand-up on Netflix and like didn't hate it. It's a very different his stand-up energy is a lot different than his like on-screen persona energy, I will say.
That's good.
Is the
but I don't
timer
know-
going, Dan, by the way?
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, okay.
Although I don't know what he's like on this show. The premise sounds horrendous.
Sounds awful.
Part of
I
me
can't wait to watch it.
Yeah.
Part of me showing this clip to you is I am now unemployed again thanks to COVID. So if either of you want to do a watch every episode watch podcast of Real Rob, I'm here for it.
Can we do Real Rob versus I'm with Busey?
Yes, we can. Two insane people, one by choice, the other by injury. Yeah,
Just as some sort of mini podcast release.
I'm here for it.
I can't do that. For
I
many
got the time.
reasons.
Me and you, Sean, can record
Real
some
Rob,
mini-sodes.
Rob v. Gary, who is
Yeah.
a delightful actor.
Gary Busey.
Yeah, I liked him. Liked him a lot.
Yeah,
he
again,
is somehow one of the better parts of the movie. Sometimes he is bad, but
When is he
would
bad?
be-
When is he bad?
He has
He's
some.
bad
He,
at
has-
his-
he says some lines that are pretty shitty. He
His
says them bad.
his first kind of confrontational interaction with Keanu is pretty
Right when
pretty
he's
rough.
blindfolded on the diving board.
No, you mean when they're
No.
fighting up by the car and they're just yelling at each
Yeah.
other.
Oh,
but that's clearly bad direction. That's
Yeah.
not a
The
that's not a Gary
blindfold
Busey's a bad
thing
actor
was kind of funny. He was pretty
was.
good, and I liked that he did a silly jump into the pool.
Yeah,
I was like,
Gary
bless
Busey.
you, Gary Busey.
And I know this is a writing thing, but I really enjoyed his undercover tactics. I liked his ability to like switch into, old man bystander looking for his puppy or his kids.
Yeah.
Or like a car radio or whatever. That someone stole my
yeah.
car radio. Yeah, those moments were really good.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, he's gonna blow his cover. Oh no, oh, he's looking for
Yeah.
a car radio.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought that was really clever.
Inspired.
Except when he's trying to get into the first house, the Nazi house, the surf Nazi house.
Yeah. Yes.
And he plays it well, and then eventually he just gets fed up and barges in and goes like FBI and pushes in, and I was like, oh, that's not. You
That's
really
how
blew
you get
this.
a shotgun to the face.
So you get a shotgun to the face. They had really crazy guns in that house.
They did. I thought one was a paintball gun.
No, it was like a one of those. I don't know what it's called.
Rifle of some sort. Yeah.
In Counter Strike, it's the AUG. That's all I know
Okay.
from being a
Alright.
child and playing Counter Strike at lunch.
So I went on a very interesting emotional roller coaster watching Keanu Reeves in this movie.
I think we have to talk about Keanu a bunch, right?
Oh, of course.
I think we have to. And I mean, first, I had very high hopes at the beginning of this film because for somebody who is notoriously, I mean, I know he comes from Bill and Ted fame, but he is much more famous for his wooden acting or his like not acting.
He's good
Right.
in Bill and Ted.
He's
Yeah,
good in
he's-
Bill and Ted because that's the character. Like it's an easy character to play, and I think that's kind of
Yeah.
closer to who he is in real life when he has
But
to
he's like
deviate
he's
from.
animated in it.
Who he
is what
was
I mean.
at least.
Yes,
Yeah.
who
Yes,
he was.
he's
Well,
animated.
He is like
I watched
alive.
an interview with him recently, and he's still pretty fucking kooky.
Sure,
Like,
he's
yeah.
spiritual. He's spiritual.
He's a quirky guy, but I mean, beyond spirituality, like he is much more full of life than he is in his movies, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, but it seemed as though he was going to deliver some nuanced acting range
No.
at the beginning of this movie, and no, I know he doesn't. I'm saying it seemed as though he may.
Yeah. I agree. I understand
You
what
know
you're
what I
saying.
mean?
Yeah.
And then, but I mean, that all dissolves on that mountaintop when he's arguing with fucking Busey. But it was a very weird thing to see like a glimmer of hope for Keanu, and then realize, no, okay, he's just really sexy at like
Yeah.
25.
He's really sexy. Everyone's really sexy.
And
He's
apparently
real
he's
hot.
like an incredibly hard worker. My sister knew
course.
there's like a 2 degrees of separation thing between my sister and Keanu Reeves. Like she knows someone who knows him personally. I think either he taught him or something. And he used to rave about Keanu Reeves being the shining example of how talent is like 2% of success in Hollywood and the other 98% is just hard work, because he is like always the hardest worker in the room. He's like the one who shows up early for every fucking rehearsal and set and like da-da-da-da, right? So
yeah, nobody,
I mean,
literally
I guess there's
nobody has
that.
a bad like review of Keanu from a set.
But
yeah.
it's still tricky though, because his acting in a lot of movies is pretty
Bad.
terrible. And
Yeah.
I would say he's the overall, he has moments where you're like, yeah,
Yep.
you know, you did this all right.
Yeah.
I thought his relationship stuff with Tyler, I thought I bought their romance the most in the movie.
They
That
had
was-
some sweet moments.
Yep.
When
I
he
think.
wakes up and he's late for the raid,
Yeah.
that was very
Yeah.
cute.
That was genuine. Like, it made me smile and feel warm.
Yeah.
It's especially when he's getting angry and stuff like you talk about. And Miranda called it out too, that like he's just kind of dead in his eyes.
Yeah.
So he's doing this idea, he's imitating the sound of someone who's angry without actually like expressing it. So his eyes are totally blank, but he's yelling, going, "You have to come back here. Or you're never gonna. You have to stop. It's over." But his eyes are done. Like there's nothing.
Yeah, they're just looking straight
dead.
forward. Yeah. Yep.
So he never
get that.
actually, and it's super weird to watch. It's like truly strange.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
don't ever fully buy him as the fastidious new FBI recruit, you know?
Or as a like collegiate football star.
As
No.
anything. I don't know what
No.
I buy him as.
I buy him as a sexy
Hunky.
young man. Yeah.
I buy him as a
young
hunky
dude.
hunk.
yeah.
Yep.
But his speech that he gives to Tyler when they first, not when he goes back the second time, when he goes to her work,
Yeah.
and he uses
you
his
mean-
way in of her.
You mean
I
when
actually
he
didn't-
uses his police identity search system to track down a woman he briefly talked to so that he could confront
and
her at work?
watched her change.
And watched her change. Yeah, it's true.
He watches
did
her
that.
change, and he tracks her, and he finds out that she has dead parents, and he's
Yeah.
like, "I'll use that."
Yep.
It's pretty cool. But that speech is terrible. He delivers it.
I didn't mind that actually.
Oh.
I thought like dumb hunky jock has talks about an emotional trauma. It would be a little flat. I actually didn't mind that. I bought it a lot more than many other parts of this movie.
I think you're being tricked by the everyman trick that Keanu is known for, where he's so
No.
bland that you can impose yourself into them.
I will be the first one to complain about all things Keanu. Believe me, I am not a fan of his fucking everyman acting or his non-acting or his fucking weird like
I don't know what you're
Asperger's
talking
acting. I just
Whoa.
think, hey man, spade a spade. But
David
there were
Spade
some
is spade.
moments. David Spade a spade. There are some moments in this movie where he doesn't entirely suck.
Sure,
Which is
Yeah.
refreshing from Keanu Reeves.
I will just say, I would say the overall ecology of the acting. I think Swayze is fine.
Oh yeah, he's Swayze.
You know, it's
You can rely
I thought he
on
was
him.
great. I mean, again, introduction to Patrick Swayze. I don't know what other roles he is known for playing, but
It's
I bought him 100%.
He is really great, and it's frustrating because it's another film that locks in this the characters who have the ability to think outside of normal mainstream thought about how the world operates, and it gives them momentary glimpses of having good things to say, and then is also but they're psychotic murderers, so stay away from them. And he's really good at it, but I hated his portrayal. Yeah.
I didn't care for that. I hated the Nazi performers. They were all ridiculous and totally over the top. Not so.
Well, they're fucking tweakers, man.
Look,
They
the
do
thing-
math.
They do math. The thing that I want to get back to, which is how I like to evaluate these categories, is not whether or not they are just empirically good, good on their own. To me, it's always about, did they achieve what they were trying to achieve, right? Someone can do a good performance and it can miss the mark, right? It can be in the wrong tone or wrong energy. And that's my thing of why I like this. I enjoyed this pairing, and why I actually think there's some interplay between these two movies is because I think Point Break is on paper a better movie, and I think it misses the mark more than Surf Ninjas, which is a really weird thing to have happen.
What
And
is
I
the
think-
mark? Yeah, okay, well, we'll get into that.
I'm just saying-
you're speaking from a place of extreme bias, but
Yeah,
if
mean,
we're
yes.
talking about performance, I think that, everyone knows what movie they're in on both fronts, but I think that tonally, all the actors in Point Break are fucking bang on the money.
Yeah.
Nobody stands out as being out of place.
Yeah. Agree.
Ding ding ding.
We overlooked a lot of good performances, but like
Yeah,
Leslie Nielsen.
I like the guy who plays Mac.
Yeah.
Which one is Mac?
Their adopted father.
Oh, right. I think it's important to actually mention the woman who plays Tyler. I forget what her name is.
Yeah.
Let me look that up for you.
Yeah, but I thought she was exceptional. I think that she was maybe the best part.
Yeah,
the best performance in Point Break.
I agree.
Hondo P, and her name is Lori Petty.
Yes, that does sound familiar. I remember looking for her specifically in the credits.
Oh, she's in Tank Girl, of course, and A League of Their Own. She's the pitcher. She's
That's
the sister.
where I
She's
see
Kenny
it.
Davis' sister.
Right.
There
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Dadoy. Much
Damn.
different haircut.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah, she was good. But it's just a thing of it's not just their performances. I think it's an overall movie thing. So it has to do with direction and stuff as well. I just found Point Break taking itself so seriously and not knowing that it's a very silly movie.
Sure.
It's a very silly movie.
But it's not like we say that now looking back at the 90s. And I think if we were living in it, it would not be a silly movie. It would probably be a movie that we went to and were like, that was, pretty fun. Like I was,
Yeah,
I was there
the
whole time.
lethal weapon era, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, but I've always argued that's not what I do on this podcast. At least I
Sure.
watch it from
Sure.
my perspective now.
Surf Ninjas is pretty aged then too.
Oh, 100%.
I'd say it holds up pretty well.
It's timeless in its own right.
Daniel, every time I take a position against Surf Ninjas like you want me to, you come out against me. What is this bullshit?
No, I say it sarcastically, Sean. I'm with you. Surf
No,
Ninjas is a dumpster fire.
The feud lives on.
Oh, it's far from a dumpster fire. It's
No, you're giving it way too much credit. It is not far from a dumpster fire.
It's
It might be
far from
beside
a
a
dumpster
dumpster
fire.
fire.
It's not a dumpster fire.
You can smell the dumpster fire from
I will
this
say,
movie for
I
sure.
will
Yeah.
say, it's a shit show.
The manure pile is closer than the dumpster.
It's like, you know, when
it's like a
people-
bunch of shit happens and they call it a movie, but it's not a dumpster fire either.
You know when people play pranks on other people by like leaving a paper bag full of flaming shit on their doorstep?
Yeah, of
So
course.
not quite a dumpster fire, but like something that is emitting the same odor as a dumpster fire, maybe worse, just in a smaller package.
just on your shoe.
I just
on
don't
your
think
shoe.
it's on fire.
It's
I
a
think-
shit bag under my shoe.
Why would you
That's what
leave
Surf
just a
Ninjas
bag of
is.
shit? You gotta light it on fire so they step on it.
Yeah.
I think it's more like a bag of shit that also has other things in it that you don't expect. You're like, Skittles? Why? Like, I think it's more surprising.
How do you find the Skittles though? Are you digging through the shit?
It's like you
Yeah,
step
you
on it.
CSIing that fucking shit
Yeah.
on your shoe or what?
Absolutely. You
Okay.
don't?
All right.
Whenever I step in shit, I like take it to the lab. Okay, so let's take a quick Addy break, and then we'll come back and crush my childhood.
Yeah.
So far these movies are pretty neck and neck, and we'll see how that let's see how that changes when we get into our fourth round, which is rewatchability. Good? I don't know. Damn, that was good. That was the best one yet. Didn't come through at all.
No.
Oh, really? It just cancels it out, eh?
Yeah, now
crazy.
it knows now. It's learning.
So I think it's safe to say that we know where Jack stands on the rewatchability.
Yeah, one of them I've
Surf
seen many
Ninjas.
times. It's true.
50 plus.
And I'd watch it again.
That's so weird to me.
It's not.
Like,
we all have
you-
movies we watched as a kid
but
that
you
are
only
complete
have
garbage.
a finite amount of time in this life. Why would you give any more of it up to watch this movie?
Why would you give it up?
Why would you give it up?
I give it up. Because it's super silly. It's just there's no denying the nostalgia factor of it. But I think if you're in the right mindset, it's a decently fun movie.
What mindset
So-
is that?
Yeah.
Like one that hasn't had their souls crushed, like you grumpy grumps over there.
Yep. That's fair.
I don't know. I would say that I'm usually pretty open to silly, fun things. And this movie just doesn't do it for me.
Okay.
I don't know. There's just a lot of little moments and like more than a few. that do it for me. I like catching this time how much when Satch pushes Rob Schneider down the hill, and then we hear Rob Schneider hitting things on the way. We're watching Satch watch that and enjoying each hit. I was like, that's fun.
Okay, but let's try and evaluate this from a fair standpoint. If you had never seen this movie as a child, do you honestly think that you would still appreciate it as much now? Do you think that you would be able to find the viability in the film having not enjoyed it so much as a kid?
I think so. Maybe certainly not as much. I'm not going to pretend that, of course, right? But I think I would in the same way that I appreciate the Evil Deads and the Psycho Gormans, where it's like, not to say that it's on par with them, but that it has that same kind of joie de vivre, you know, that it's such a celebration. Like it's such it truly looks like people making a film that are trying to have fun and make us have fun. Whereas Point Break is so fucking serious. I think it's totally up its own ass. Watching it now, it is ridiculous. The acting is ridiculous. The writing is ridiculous. Even the moments where I go, yeah, they sort of connect, but also I'm like, but then they do something like right after or right before it finishes in a way, or the movie goes on a trajectory that's like so. It's just it's crazy, and I think the fact that it takes itself so seriously makes it look like some sort of, it's like a parody of itself at this point.
It is at this point, for sure. Surf Ninjas is a parody of itself at the time, though.
Yeah, it knows.
Yeah, I just wish it had been executed and performed better. Because I totally agree with you, Jack, that yes, it knows it's a silly film. I just find the silly aspects of that film to be poorly executed, and I want more. And if I'm gonna rewatch something, I don't want to watch poorly executed silly. I don't really want to watch sacrosanct Keanu Patrick Swayze just fuck already, but like I'm leaning towards that one.
All right, that's weird.
That's a very good point.
I think you might find a way to enjoy Surf Ninjas more if you did watch it again, if I'm being honest.
Sure, probably.
Whereas I don't think you're going to find anything more to enjoy in Point Break.
I need to watch Surf Ninjas not at 9 a.m.
Well, why did you? Yeah.
That is the only time to watch Surf Ninjas.
You need to watch it high with me.
It is a movie with breakfast. That is what Surf Ninjas is.
It is like a Saturday morning cartoon. So
yeah,
it is. It really is.
So I don't know. I think there's more that you can get from rewatching Surf Ninjas. I think you would maybe find more things to enjoy about it than to hate about it.
But
as a stupid schlock, how did this get made kind of movie.
Yeah.
But Sean makes a good point about poorly executed silliness. And then, I mean, earlier he uttered the blasphemous words that it is that the imagination is unparalleled.
There's tons of imagination. It's unparalleled.
But then we talk. But then we
half cyborg Leslie Nielsen
talk about movies
unparalleled.
Like, you know what? I'm done.
Oh, why are you walking away, Daniel?
I'm going to squeeze this in. You mentioned silly movies like Evil Dead and like Psycho Gorman. Yeah. Psycho Gorman to me is a movie that does silly, self-aware exceptionally well. So then to say that something like
pretty well done.
So then to say something like Surf Ninjas is passable, I think is a little unfair.
Unparalleled, actually.
It's unparalleled.
I don't know. I think part of the appeal of Psycho Gorman that you feel is just that it's just more current. So the humor is more to our current tastes. And I think it's still Psycho Gorman misses the marks on a bunch of stuff.
Sure does.
It has a bunch of bits that don't land. It's not a flawless movie, but I appreciate it for being flawed because it's trying to do something imaginative.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of stuff that sucks in that movie.
Sure. Not a perfect movie. But...
And you can see what we thought about it by going back to last season and listening to our episode, Psycho versus Psycho Gorman, available where all podcasts are found.
It's a good episode.
Yeah.
Was I on that episode?
You were. It was, or if you're a Super Psycho Gorman fan, you can listen to our episode Showgirls versus
Right.
what
Magic Mike?
Magic
Mike.
or Magic Mike versus Showgirls, where we invite Steve Lahos,
Magic Mike
the
was
voice
classic.
of Psycho Gorman.
Yeah.
Yep. That was
The
where we
voice of
started going
Showgirls.
astray. Yeah, Steve Lahos, the voice of Showgirls. Yeah.
Well, Sean, what's the wild card for this week?
Our wild.
Don't we
card.
vote first?
No, yeah, we vote. We do the first four.
Oh, we do
votes.
the first 4 votes first. All right. So starting with story, I think Point Break is up its own butt. My point is for Surf Ninjas.
Okay. Story. FBI agent infiltrates surfing community to bring down notorious bank robbers.
Johnny Utah.
Utah. Versus a couple of kids are told they're actually Asian royalty and have hidden super martial arts powers and use them to bring down a
brutal dictatorship
in
in their homeland.
Half
in their
cyborg.
homeland.
Yep.
Okay. On paper,
When you put it like that.
when you put it like that,
But
the
Why is surfing in either of the movies? I guess it's okay.
oh right, and there's surfing in Surf Ninjas. No, I'm gonna go with Point Break. I tried, but I'm gonna go with Point Break.
Oh, I'm so torn here. Because I honestly think, though the writing of the moment-to-moment writing of Surf Ninjas is atrocious, I think the linear story is better told than the linear story is in Point Break.
It's weird that there are parts of Point Break that make less sense about his undercover status and him being almost arrested at the bank and then not and whatever. Like,
But
there are parts of that movie
But just writing-wise, I puked less in Point Break, so I think I'm going to go Point Break.
Oh, are you kidding? There is writing in Point Break that is also fucking awful.
I puked less. I puked less. Sorry. Point Break takes the broken point. We're all broken.
I mean, I did make a point of writing down that any movie where Swayze's spin kicks Flea is a good movie, or Anthony Kiedis, or whoever it was.
Oh yeah.
That's
what? Who? What?
Flea.
I think it might be.
Was it Kiedis?
I think it's Kiedis.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Yeah, he's one of the Nazis. So any movie where Patrick Swayze spin kicks the lead singer of Red Hot Chili Peppers is also a pretty decent movie.
Which one of the Nazis was he?
He was one of them. He had like shaved streaks in his side head.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. All right,
Yeah.
Moving on.
Well, fine. I'll take it as a close loss. I'll accept it.
Very close.
Production.
Point Break.
Yeah.
But the music and costumes were it's Point Break. It's definitely a cleaner movie. There's just like I give so much love to Surf Ninjas for doing a lot with less and not very much and just like having fun. But end of the day, like there's a bunch of stuff in that movie that looks pretty terrible.
I can't believe we're even comparing these two movies right now. Okay, continue.
I love when Daniel doesn't have a good week.
They're fully worthy of comparing.
I didn't have a bad week. It just seems this just makes no sense. Like
this is what the podcast is.
I know. All right, next.
Acting.
All together now.
Surf Ninjas.
Point Break. Okay.
Definitely not. I think the acting in anyway.
Are you kidding me? Are you actually saying Surf Ninjas has better acting than Point Break? Do you actually believe that?
Again, it's not that it's better, it's that it achieves its purpose better. Whereas I think the acting in Point Break is silly. It's very silly.
Okay.
And that to me takes me out of the movie more than gets me into it. Sorry.
That's okay. I still love you. Moving on.
I don't love you anymore.
Less and less every week.
Rewatchability.
Point Break.
I mean, I'm Surf Ninjas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know because I'm trying to like. Point Break is more palatable by a mile, but
Which are you going to watch next?
I mean, I don't think I'll leap to watch either one of these movies. If I had to choose, gun to my head, Surf Ninjas is shorter.
Wow.
The classic rewatchability win point for Dan.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I think I have to go Surf Ninjas.
Okay. Well,
Like,
got a point.
I almost
Shocking.
got Sean on a couple of points, but that's
Almost. It was tight. It was tight.
All right, wild card.
Wild card
Yes.
question. You're going on a date with the person you love, or maybe someday you'll love. It's up to you. Which do you serve as dessert?
Are we talking about like a
Wait,
DVD on a plate?
No. Like, which
Nope.
movie is a better dessert? If
Which-
the movie was a dessert.
Yeah, you've
I
whipped up.
understand, Sean.
You've whipped up a wonderful meal for your date, and which do you serve as dessert?
Dessert, it has to be Surf Ninjas. It has to be Surf Ninjas. Just tonally, it's lighter.
Oh,
You know,
what's
it's sweeter.
what's the main course, Sean? Because what have you served beforehand? Because
The
Surf
main
Ninjas.
course is Schindler's List.
No, I'm talking real food. because while I mostly agree and go, it's much sweeter. It's also like you served them like a bowl of Skittles for dessert,
Yeah.
or at least, but Point
Tropical
Break.
Skittles.
But Point Break is a flan. Like it's just like a weird, spongy, bland dessert. Like I don't.
yeah, it definitely is.
But takes itself very seriously.
very seriously, or it's like it's a souffle.
It's a souffle of sorts.
You poke it and it just falls apart under its own steam. What is the entree? The entree is you've made some pasta with in a nice garlic oil sauce, a little spritz of lemon. Mediterranean.
Mediterranean Surf Ninjas.
Yeah.
The Surf Ninjas might have like a
Keeping
toffee
it
in
ethnic,
there.
eh? That's
I think I'm
that's
going to
the idea.
agree.
The
I think
appropriate ethnic style.
I think Surf Ninjas is going to take the dessert for me as well. That's a clean sweep for Surf Ninjas as dessert.
I just feel like we are.
It's-
Thank
it's
you.
Flaky and light. That's the ultimate win for Surf Ninjas.
I just feel like we're not giving Surf Ninjas nearly enough credit for having a teacher go, an Asian student has been persuaded to volunteer, and I've been assured it's in the appropriate ethnic style.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Credit where that's due.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So what's that mean? With a score of 4-1,
3-2.
3-2.
3-2.
It was
Good.
tight. Some fucking how.
With a score of 3-2, the Citizen Kane of the week is
Hey, you're a real Blue Flame special, aren't you, son? Young, dumb, and full of cum.
Point Break. And if there's any way, I think none of these are coming through. If there's a way that for the drum roll, if it's just someone singing ba 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 baram.
I can't do that, man. It has to be winter appropriate.
Yeah, it's true.
Has to be winter appropriate.
Winner.
Has to be appropriate for the winter time.
Winter appropriate. I was so confused. I was like, is our podcast really seasonal or something?
Yeah. I'm enjoying the drum rolls lately. Keep up the good
Thank you.
work.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Killing it. So thank you for joining us on this journey of pointlessly surf movies with blatant stunt doubles and lead actors named Johnny. It was a pairing for the ages, and I'm so glad we finally got to do it.
3-2. I thought it was going to be a fucking slaughter.
Well, I mean,
it kind of
is a
was.
wild card. No,
Yeah,
Sean,
it should be
I
3-1.
tore you up. You know, you were torn, as I like to have you. You know,
Gross.
I said it the way I said it. I know that's that was intended what you heard.
Yeah.
And we have some finer pieces of cinema for next episode. So Sean, this has been something that you've
This
been.
is my baby.
This has been your baby. Surf Ninjas was a bit more my baby, obviously. So this is something that you've wanted, and I think it's time we get it on now. Again, for some class. Get some class back on the pod.
Yeah, I think we really need to class up the joint, like you're saying. So we're gonna have a Steven Seagal week, and I'm so happy this is happening. So we're gonna look at Under Siege.
Hell yeah.
Classic Seagal on a battleship.
That's the one.
Film, and it's going to go up against his more recent 2016 self-produced film, Sniper Special Ops.
Oh, it's self-produced?
Ho, ho, baby.
Oh, I love that.
It's his production company, at least. Yeah.
Does his production company produce anything other than Steven Seagal movies?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I want to see desperately? I want to see a movie starring Steven Seagal and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson,
where they look at each other from across the room because Steven Seagal refuses to get out of chairs these days.
No,
well,
I want a remake of Point Break starring those two.
Seagal.
I want a remake of
The Rock is
Apocalypse
Bodhi.
Now. Apocalypse Now. Steven Seagal is Brando.
Yeah.
And the Rock is Vietnam.
That's fair. That's fair. Oh, I can't
He
wait
would
to
do
watch
it. 'Cause it's in the jungle, so he'd be there.
He would do it.
He does have
Yeah,
that weird
that's
jungle
true.
thing.
Wherever it's free to go to a tropical location for a shoot.
Oh, well, great. Tune in next episode for Seagal Week, Citizen Kane versus Steven Seagal.
It's purely an episode where we get to just shit on Steven Seagal left, right, and center.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So for a sign out this week, I'd like everyone just over top of each other to ad lib their best surfer lingo.
Brah, dude, are you hitting those mad
yeah.
waves?
Cowabunga,
Hang
bro.
down,
Catching a
slam
sweet
board,
wave
bro.
on that
Stop,
awesome
bro.
break.
Before
Yeah,
we go and
tubular
slam dog, yo. Huh.
waves.